Okay, so we're on to part 4. We have 3 more pages to go. So get out one of your blank pages, or your base pages, whatever you want to call it, and then we're going to add on to it. So this one you're going to cut 2 pieces that are 8 1/4 by 3 3/4, and you're going to score it on the 3 3/4 side at 1/2 inch on both of them. So that's our next page, and we're just going to cut those corners like we have been doing. Just going to cut here and cut here, and then we're just going to fold these over, and we're just going to glue them to the top and bottom side. So we're making this page right here, right there. All right, and just put some glue on the top part, the top flap. And just line it up, whichever side, top or bottom. I'm spinning it around here. All right, let's line it up, glue it on there, and take the other one and line it up on there and glue that flap on there. Okay, mine's a little off. Looks alright. Okay, so when we're done with that, we're going to put the magnets on. So if you want to call this the top flap, we're going to put a magnet right here and a piece of tape on there. Going to slap another magnet over the top of that one, and a little bit of glue right there. Open that other flap, and you want to push it down. See where it lands. It's on that circle right there, so make sure you put it right there in that circle, and it'll line up perfectly. So you got the bottom flap, you're going to put that up. Got the top flap, you're going to put that down. So now we're going to flip it over, and we're going to do the back of the page. So here's our page. We flip it over, and we have these two, and they flip open just like that. So you're going to have 2 pieces that measure 6 1/4 by 4 3/4, and you're going to score it 1/2 inch on the 4 3/4 side. Cut those little edges off, and we're just going to glue it to the top and bottom of the page, and just try to get it in the middle as much as you can. If you put that flap down, I'm just going to use it as a guide, and I'm just going to line this up, and I just want to push it down on the top. I want to line it up with the sides of that so it's all even. So now that I turned it all around, so okay, so the other side has this flap coming down. I'm going to turn it over, and then I want the same thing, the flap on the top coming down. So I'm going to open that one up. You guessed it, I'm going to put a magnet on it, and throw that down. Piece of tape, and another magnet on the top of that. Just press that down, and look for that perfect glue circle, and just Put that magnet right down on there. It's in that perfect position. And another piece of tape. Put the bottom flap up, top flap down. It snaps nicely. So, alright, we're done with, what was that, our 4th page? Alright, we're moving on to the 5th page. Alright, so what does this look like? Okay, so this one has these flaps coming out like this on the sides. Goes to the middle, and then you have more flaps coming out on the side here. It folds in like that, and that folds in like that. Okay, so for this one, get another one of your base pages out, and then we got a couple of strange measurements. So we have 2 bigger pieces, and that's gonna measure, it's gonna be 8 3/4 by 5 1/2. So you put it on the 8 3/4 side, and you're gonna score it at a 1/2 inch, and then you're gonna score it at 4 5/8, just that little 1/8 of an inch past the 1/2. So you got 2 of those, so you're gonna score it at a 1/2 inch, and then 4 5/8. Okay, so you got those 2, and then when you got those scored, you have this flap that's gonna go down, and that's going to be on the left side. So you have this flap on the left side, and it folds in the middle when you put it on your paper. And then this one on the right side, you got the flap. The flap folds down on the right side, and you got the crease in the middle. So when we're putting those down, we're going to put them down like this with the fold in the middle and the flaps to the right and left side. Okay, and then you have 2 more add-ons for that, and you're gonna, it's going to be 4 1/2 by, no, it's going to be 5 1/2 by 4 5/8. And then, so you're just going to score it on the 4 5/8 inch side at the 1/2 inch. So just a little bit weird measurements here, because that's just the way we had to do it, the way the pages measure. So hopefully that doesn't confuse you too much. All right, so we've got all this paper. What are we going to do with it? All right, so we've got your base page, and you've got these 2 with the flaps that are folded. So like I said, you're going to have the creases in the middle, and you're going to have these 2 flaps here. It's going to glue down on the right and left side. So I'm going to start with the left side. I'm going to cut these corners off on here, and cut the corners off on here. And I'm going to cut the corners off on these 2. Alright. So I'm going to start with the right side. So I've got this, I've got the flap, I've got the fold in the middle, and then it opens like that. So I'm just going to take and glue that flap. And we're just going to line it up with that right side right there. And just glue it down so it's right on that edge. So when you open it up, I think it's crooked. Alright, so you got that on the right side. On the left side, you got this flap, it's folded under. Okay, you're going to glue that. And the fold's going to be in the middle. So you got this flap, it's going to go on close to that left side as you can get it. Alright, so here you have this right here. So you've got this flap down here in the back, this flap down here in the back, and when you fold them, they meet in the middle. Okay, now we got these 2 other pieces of paper we got to deal with. Okay, so we have these smaller ones, and we have this flap, and we're going to fold it to the inside, and then we're going to put glue on it. Okay, I'm going to go back to the right side here, and I'm going to open up this flap. Okay, open up this flap, So you're gonna, on this right edge, you're just gonna put this one right on the right edge right here. Just make sure when you're lining it up that this score line right here, you can still see it. So you want to push that down. You still want to be able to see it. Otherwise, when you go to fold it back up, it's not going to fold right. So that one goes into the middle, and then this flap folds over the top of that one. So it's nice and smooth. Okay. And then you're going to take this one, and you're going to go to the left side, and you're going to put glue on that flap. And so you have this one opened up, and you're going to put this right on that edge right there, and then just make sure you can still see that score line right there, so it closes nice and smooth. So you gotta close that and then close that. All right, so here's what you got. 2 pages like this. So they open up, fold to the middle, and they have these 2 flaps on the side. So this one folds in, that one goes to the top, and the left one folds in, and that one folds on top of it. So you have this. So I'm going to put magnet, well, I'm running out of magnets. I'm just going to put it on the one side. I'm down to 1 then after this. So here's what that's going to look like. Just going to take that flap that's on the right side, and just going to put a magnet right on there. Sliding all over the place. All right. So if you put that on the back of there, wherever it catches, all right, and you're just going to push that down, and then you're going to put it on the bottom right there, and just going to put this piece of tape over the top. So you do the same on the left side, but I'm running out, so that stays down nice and smooth there. So now we got our page, and we're going to flip it over, and we got to do something to the back of it. So we have this page right here, and we flip it over, and we've got this flap here, and we got this one that comes out all the way. So we've got our next 2 pieces here, and that's going to measure, I believe, let's take a look at it. It's going to be 8 3/4 by 5 1/2, of course, and you're just going to score it on the 1/2 inch line, and then you have this little flap. It's going to be 2 1/2 inches by 5 1/2 inches, and you're just going to score on the 1/2 inch, and then just cut these little corners at an angle. Alright, got your flap on the bigger piece and a flap on the smaller piece. Okay, so we have this like this, the crease is in the middle, and we flip it over, okay? So you're going to take the long pleat, the flap from the long piece, put glue on it, and you're going to glue that to the right side. Okay, and then we got a flap. It's going to go over here, the small little flap, and you can round the corners here if you want to. I just leave it, but whatever look you're going for, I've done it either way. So just line that up, get it real close to the edge there, so that when you go to close this page and put this on top of it, it doesn't go over that score line. Just make sure that score line's still showing. So, and then on this one, you'd put another magnet. I'm gonna put one on the flap right there. This is my last one, so I don't have another one to show you, but put one right there on the flap. And then you would just wherever that meets right there. Put another one right there, and then that'll keep that closed right there. So, all right, we're on to our last page. What does that look like? We got a bunch of paper to cut on our last page. So we've got this flap comes up, this flap comes up. Got a magnet on there. We got a pocket in here, and it comes out like this. It's a flap. So, all right. And then that other one we cut for the other page, that should already be done. That one's going to go on the back. So we got our 6th base page, and we've got all these papers that we cut. We cut this one at 6.5 by 5.5, and you're going to score the 6.5 inch side on at a 1/2 inch. Okay. Now this one, I'm going to put glue on the inside, and I'm going to slide it in instead of putting it on top. So I'm going to open up this opening, and I'm going to put this in right here. And just line it up. Make sure that score line is still showing. You can still see it, so that when you go to fold it folds over real nice. So you have this flap on the back page right here. All right. And then we've got a pocket. So that pocket is going to measure, we've got 7 inches by 5 inches. So on the 7-inch side, you're going to score it at a 1/2 inch and 6.5. And then when you turn it over on the 5-inch side, you're going to score it at 4.5. So we're making a pocket here. So just put the pocket on the bottom, glue it to the bottom of there. Got our 3 sides glued, and we're just going to glue this right to the bottom right here. You can assemble the whole thing first and then glue the whole thing onto, either way, whatever way you want to do it. We already glued it on in there, but so you have this pocket on here now. Alright, now we got this piece of paper. I believe it measures 6 inches by 4 3/4, and you're going to score it at a 1/2 inch on the 4 3/4 side. And just have this nice little photo mat. So I'm going to put glue on the inside of this flap right here. And then just slide it right in where we put this pocket on. And make sure you can still see that score line so that you haven't, it folds over real nice. And you go to fold it back down. So you fold it down like that. So you have that flap on there. And then this piece is going to be 4 1/4 by 4 3/4. 4 1/4 by 4 3/4, and then you're going to take it on the 4 3/4 side, and you're going to score it at a 1/2 inch. And then we're going to glue this flap onto here. And we just try to get in the middle as much as possible. Just put it right on top. And just line it up at the bottom right there. So if you want to put the magnets on, just put it on the inside flap right here, and then you're just going to put it on this part right here, so it all lay down flat real nice. So then on the back of the 6th page, we already made that other little pocket page from earlier. So you're just going to take this page, just flip it over so you're on the back side, and you're just going to glue that flap right there. And then line it up with that left side. I didn't put a magnet on this page either. It just lays down. So we have our 6 pages all done now. Alright. So we've got the first page with our flaps. On the back, we've got this little belly band. We have this cascading page here. We got this little pocket here. Got the next one that has this flap on it. And you flip it over, and we got this one that has these photo mats on it. We got our 4th page. Flips up, flip it over, and you have 2 more photo mats. Our 5th page had this one on it with these coming out of here. And then on the back side, we have this little flap with this one coming out of it. And then our last page had this little 6-inch thing that folded out with the flaps on it, and that little one. So if you have all 6 of your pages all together, I like to put decorative paper on it before I put in my book. So, but you got your book here, you got your little mechanism here with the tape already on it. What I do is I take the tape off, and then I also glue it. So I have glue and tape, and then you're just going to pop it on like that, just in order, just like that. So glue that one on there. If you're having a little problem getting it on there, you can cut the corner at an angle a little bit with all these layers of paper we have on. So the 2nd page, I'm going to take the tape off, and then I also put glue on it, and you're just going to pop it on there and go all the way down. Like I said, if you're having trouble getting it in there, just cut the corners a little bit. This looks like it's going to be a little bit snug, so I might have to do some cutting there with that one. But you just put them on like that all the way down until you get to that last page. So that's the order they go in. And then I'm going to have 2 more videos on this. I'm going to show you how I did my camera. And I'm also going to do one that's totally decorated so I can show you the whole thing. So this was video 4, so we're going to have 2 more.